Welcome back to Learn English Easily channel. So I'm back with new topic, past continuous tense. Today we are going to learn the definition of past continuous tense along with its rule. Come, let us learn. What is past continuous tense? So we use past continuous tense to speak about an action that happened continuously in the past. So it gives importance only to the action that happened continuously in the past. So it is called as past continuous tense. So in past continuous tense, we are going to use be verbs. So we all know that what are be verbs? Am, is, are, was and were. So it is past continuous. So we are going to use only the helping verbs was or were along with pre-4 form of the verb. That means the verb with ing form. So this is the main thing, the important thing in past continuous tense. So we are going to use as per the number of the subject. That means we are going to use was and were as per the number of subject. If it is a singular subject, we have to use the helping verb was. So we are going to use was only with singular subject and were only with plural subjects. Are you clear? This is the basic thing. So we use past continuous tense only to speak about the action that happened continuously only in the past. It's called past continuous tense and we have to use only the helping verb was and were along with ing form of the verb in past continuous tense. Next we are going to learn the rules where we have to use past continuous tense. So I said that while we are started to learn the tenses, I said that it plays an important role in our communication. So until we know where we have to use past continuous, it will be easy for us to use while we are communicating with others. The first rule that we have to use past continuous tense is, first thing, to express the action, that is going on in the past. So it is the first step. For example, he was. So he is a singular. So we have to use the helping verb was selling fruits from morning to evening. So one more example by using plural subject. They is a plural. So we have to use the helping verb were playing cricket on evening yesterday. So as I said earlier, in past continuous tense, we are going to use the helping verb was and were as per the number of subject. So we used here the subject he is singular. So we have to use the helping verb was. Here we use in second sentence we use the subject they. It is a plural. So we have to use the helping verb were. So in continuous it is saying that we have to use only V4 form of the verb. That means the verb with ing, we call it as V4. That means the present participle of the main verb. So it is the first rule. If we use past continuous tense to express an action that is going on in the past. It is the first rule. And the second rule is when a sentence begins with the subordinate verb like white. If the sentence begins with the subordinate class with the subordinate verb while, we have to use past continuous tense. The second rule is a sentence begins with subordinate clause with subordinate verb while. So only in this situation the sentence begins with the subordinate clause with the verb while, we have to use only past continuous tense. Let us see it with example. While Reena was dancing, she fell down. So here look at the example. The sentence begins with a subordinate clause. So while Reena was dancing, it is an incomplete clause. So here we have two parts. So while Reena was dancing, it doesn't give complete meaning when this underlined group of words stand alone. So we call it as subordinate clause. So in past continuous tense, if the sentence begins with the subordinate clause, so we have to use only the past continuous tense. So when a sentence begins with while, keep in mind, so we have to use in subordinate clause, we have to use only past continuous tense. This is the second rule. The first rule is it is to express about action going on in the past, and second, it is in subordinate clause, we have to use the past continuous tense at the time when the sentence begins with subordinate clause in past continuous tense. So next, the third rule is we use past continuous tense to express the action that happen or occur simultaneously without disturbing each other. The third rule is we use past continuous tense to point out the simultaneous action. To point out the simultaneous action, that means two actions. We use only past continuous tense. Let us see it with example. I was writing when my mom was cooking. So the simultaneous means it always is to point out the two action. To represent, to point out the two simultaneous action, we have to use only the past continuous tense. To point out the two action, we have to use only the past continuous form. Look here, I was writing. So when is a subordinate verb. So my mom was cooking. So both actions happen simultaneously in the past without disturbing each other. So the action that happens simultaneously at the same time, the both actions are happening. So to point out those kind of actions that happen continuously in the past, we have to use only past continuous tense. If you want one more example, here it is that. The telephone was ringing while we were watching television. So the both action happened simultaneously. The telephone was ringing while we were watching television. So two action happened simultaneously in the past. So now to point out the simultaneous action that happened in the past, to point out those two actions, we have to use only past continuous tense. The fourth one is, so we use past continuous tense to point out two action. But we use past continuous tense only to point out the action which completed first. So to point out the two action which occur in the past. But keep in mind, we have to use past continuous tense only to point out the action that happened or completed. First. So to point out the action that completed at the first, we use past continuous tense. And the second thing, what about the second action? To point out the second action, we have to use simple past verb. So only this thing we have to keep in mind. So we know that if the two action happens simultaneously in the past, we have to use past continuous tense to point out two action. But in fourth thing, sometimes we use a simple past along with past continuous tense. So at that time, we have to identify that which action will be happen first. So for those action, that means the action that happened first in a sentence, we have to use past continuous tense, and for the second action, we have to use simple past. So simple past for second action and past continuous tense for the first completed action. Let us see it with example. He was reading when he came in. So what was the action that was happening from the beginning? He was reading. So this was the action that was happened continuously. That means the first completed action was reading. But this action was interrupted when he came in. So came is the second happened action. So reading is the first completed action. So this longer action, that means the first action was interrupted by the shorter action came. One more example is, he lost his pen. So he lost his pen. We all know that it is a sentence. When he was playing. So when he lost his pen, so when he was playing, this is the first action. So while he was playing, it was the first action, he lost his pen. This is the second one. So we point out it by using simple past verb, and the first completed action was pointed out by using past continuous tense. Thank you for watching. We are going to see the structure of past continuous tense in next class. Thank you. Bye-bye.